and of course his legacy being celebrated. This year the annual event seeks to fulfill the objectives of prolonging and reminding the nation of his primary principles, which focused more on peace, justice, social cohesion across color and creed, making sure that everyone is equal. And of course this great icon, a giant, a Nobel Peace Laureate, made sure that his struggle contributions led to the freedom of our country. We will recall that his many facets, he was a man of many hats. He was not just a politician or a freedom fighter, but beyond that he had a teaching background, which of course gives the layers of his leadership qualities. And of course today's event is chaired by the Luthuli Museum. I have with me Ubaba Important Mkhize, where we're just going to talk about the legacy of uMandla Nduna. A very good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, Nkosazana. Yes. Sbongakonke.
Kabazela, like I had mentioned, we are just refreshing the objectives, the principles that Ubaba Luthuli believed in, which are relatively important for future generations. Yes. If we can just straight back a bit, even though we understand that today we are commemorating him once again, one of the key elements, his main contributions to the struggle.
Ubaba Luthuli contributed immensely with the struggle of this country. He played a very important role. First and foremost, he was a person who had the love of his people, that is the people of South Africa. He observed the manner in which the people of South Africa, in particular the black people, the African people, that were oppressed, that were exploited, that were ill-treated by a regime that was existing at that particular time. He fought against that. He made his points very clear, rejecting the apartheid system that was existing at that time. Above that, he had ideas, very noble ideas, and a vision of a free, democratic, non-racial, non-sexist, and prosperous South Africa. He was a man of vision, great ideas and ideals, and he fought for that. And today we have that kind of a democratic society, a democratic state. Those were part of the ideas that he had. He cherished the ideals of a democratic state. We are free today. We are liberated today because of vision of people like him. And also, he's a kind of a person who had a tremendous impact. His stature and the quality of his intellect, he was able to rub that off to other generation leaders. If you look at the character and the manner of the former president, the late Nelson Mandela, you can see that President Nelson Mandela drew a lot of inspiration from this great leader, Ubaba Luthuli. Yes.
Kabazela, seeing from just a young man born in 1898, we saw him growing up, we saw his leadership qualities being expressed in church, in the Seventh-day Adventist mission, where he held the position of being a late preacher. But then it is quite remarkable how he used those expertise and merged them with his political career, which he started very late in life, if one must say, where he led the ANC for the last 15 years of his life. It's quite remarkable. And as a museum, how do you continue to sustain such a memory where he managed to merge these two worlds under the belt of leadership?
You see, this very lecture that is taking place today, it is aimed at actually perpetuating his legacy. It is also aimed at ensuring that the vision, the ideas, and the ideals that he stood for is passed from generation to generation. When he joined the ANC in 1954, some of us, for example, I was 4 years old, and as I grew, he was a very popular person. We used to read about him in the newspapers, particularly Ilanga newspaper, young as we were at that time. And he was a very active person, leading the people, and the people of South Africa rallied around him, and he was loved by the people. And still today, people still love him. They remember what he stood for. And a number of people in this country actually accepted his ideas and transformed those ideas into a practical action. So Luthuli contributed quite a lot, and therefore with events like this and many other events and programs that the museum is having, you know, the product offerings of the museum are aimed at actually sustaining the legacy of this hero of our struggle, Ubaba Luthuli. We have programs at the museum that are aimed at exactly that, to perpetuate his legacy.
Kabazela, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
That was, of course, a chairperson of the Luthuli Museum, highlighting the main objective for today, which is propelling forward the ideals, ideas, and principles of Ubaba Chief Albert Luthuli. And of course, as expected later on, the keynote address is expected to be done by Chief Justice of South Africa, Justice Mogoeng Mogoeng, where of course he will be touching on the main objectives that we have spoken about with Ubaba Mkhize just now. And of course, above and beyond that, we'll be touching on some of the struggles that we currently face as South Africa and as the African continent as a whole. We will be keeping you in touch as the day progresses. For now, it's back to studio.
Sbongakonke Mbatha, they're coming to us from KZN. Thank you so much.